Let's please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go ahead and proceed with roll call.
Brenda Wilson,
Here.
David Thompson. Here. Nancy Alsop.
Here.
Brad Anderson.
Here.
Randy Gentry.
Here.
Vicky Wager.
Here.
Steve Ellis.
Here. All right, we're going to start off with correcting the journal of preceding meetings if needed. 3A, page 45 would be the November 4th, 2025 Sunshine meeting. Again, page 45. Any discussion or objections? Any motion to accept?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Motion made by Councilwoman Vicky Wager.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Alsop. All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes from the November 4th, 2025 Sunshine meeting. Roll call.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson.
I don't believe I was here.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, moving on to B, letter B, November 12th, 2025 meeting. Should be on page 51. Discussion or objections? Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Motion made by Councilwoman Wager.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Alsop. Roll call. To clarify, this is to pass the minutes for November 12th, 2025 meeting.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, moving on to C, December 10th, 2025 special meeting. December 10th, 2025 special meeting should be on page 60 of your packets.
I make a motion to accept.
Okay, motion,
Second.
motion made by Alsup and seconded by Councilwoman Gentry. Any discussions or objections? All right, once again, this is to pass the December 10th, 2025 special meeting minutes. Roll call.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsop,
Aye.
Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
Aye.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, moving on, December 29th, 2025 special meeting should be on page 68 of your packets.
Motion to approve.
All right, motion made to approve by Vicky Wager,
Second.
seconded by Brad Anderson. Any discussions or objections? All right, once again, this is to vote in the minutes from the December 29th, 2025 special meeting. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsop,
I abstain.
Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
I abstain.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, moving on to January 6, 2026 organizational meeting, page 73.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion.
A second.
All right, motion by Councilwoman Alsup, seconded by Councilwoman Wager. Any objections or discussion? Okay, this motion is to approve the minutes for January 6, 2026 organizational meeting. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsop,
Aye.
Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
Aye.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
and Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, moving on to number 4, communications from elected officials, other officials, or agencies of the county. I know Commissioner Morse had a few words he wanted to say.
Mike Morris, Vigo County Commissioner. Yeah, okay, so I clarified that just a minute ago. You, the Vigo County Assessor, we'll need that appropriation before we can sign that contract. So his main thing is he didn't need to make a payment till next year. So that's where some of the confusions come in. Of course, the money's there in the reassessment fund and what have you. So you can either ask for that next meeting, and you can appropriate it. And I think the whole deal is he doesn't have to make a payment till 2027. So it could be encumbered or whatever. Okay?
Okay, so just to reiterate, what Commissioner Morse is referring to is the request from the assessor for some new software,
Right.
correct? Okay.
Right. Changing companies, and it's a pretty big deal. And Kevin's been trying to be proactive on it, and just got a little bit ahead of ourselves here.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, something I did fail to mention, if you hear the buzzer going off, that is not our assessor being rude. He has a 3-minute timer. We're going to do our best to adhere to the 3-minute time limit as we go through the whole evening. There will be, I know we're probably going to have at least one exception for the evening, so.
Good evening, Councilman Ellis. It's funny, you added a timer when I came up to speak, and I understand that. Hey, I came before you guys in December with Judge Mulliken, Judge Johnson, and Judge Kelly, and we had a conversation about the opioid settlement dollars covering their program for calendar year 2026. I am back because in those conversations, we had made an agreement to set up a county and city working group to analyze the city opioid fund balances, the county opioid fund balances, and then some of the many programs that have been started or stopped over the years due to other grants to help determine what are the wants versus the needs and how the city can help all of us fund some of these programs. So I am back because from the county council perspective if I could get 2 names for 2 county council members, not tonight, but by the beginning of March, to work with 2 city council members. And then I have a list of folks within the city that I would like them to work with, police chief, as well as A.T. Ryan from the Human Relations Commission. Whomever the county would like to invite, my recommendation would be someone from to represent the judges, a commissioner in the health department. But again, that is, kind of your all's decision. Please get me that list as well too, so that way those 2 bodies can begin to look at the different programs and what some of the funding requests are needed. We will have our first draft of the City of Terre Haute budget done usually beginning of April. Then we do 10 different drafts from April to September. And then in September, we start to pull in city council members in groups of 2 to 3 in preparation for October budget meetings and budget votes. So I would like to have initial numbers as early as possible because our timeline is just a little bit different in the city, and we're really trying to stick to our timeline with certain city dollars involved. So that is our update. Secondly, I want to thank you all for your warming center contribution. I know not every day will be 60 degrees like it is today in February, but it does look like between the help of the United Way, Wabash Valley Community Foundation, Duke Energy has been huge as of late, as well as the city council and the county council, we should be good to cover us from now until end of March. I'm not the meteorologist, but there's always some different weather predictions, so I'm not quite sure how cold it'll be the next couple of weeks. What I am sure of is the Lotus Center continues to operate when needed based off the criteria that we all discussed, and we've been very successful with that. Do want to thank the Terre Haute Police Department. Anytime it gets really close to 0, we have additional officers who are on the ground in different parts of our community looking for individuals, trying to move them to these warming centers. So thank you for that appropriation, and please do send the names here in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you. Appreciate your hard work. All right. I know we're going to have the school board committee, oversight committee coming up. Are there any other elected officials prior to that? You're with school. Okay. School board or school committee is ready to go.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council, Mark Klinkenbeard, Vigo County Commissioner. I won't need that whole 3 minutes, and hopefully you'll let me give them a little bit of my time as their presentation will be a little bit longer than 3 minutes. But anyway, thank you for this opportunity to introduce the Vigo County School Corporation Facilities Oversight Board and let them give their monthly progress report that was called for in the ordinance that was passed last November. Just wanted to go over a couple highlights of the selection process. It was an open selection process where we, open application process. We ended up getting 21 very highly qualified applicants from all throughout the community. The selection committee consisted of the mayor, the commissioners, and the council. We actually had Councilperson Wager, Councilperson Wilson, and Councilperson Thompson were a member of that selection committee, as well as Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce and the school corporation. We reviewed all the resumes and used a scoring rubric to come up with the top 6 to 8 people. While we had very good candidates, the top 5 stood out on the secret scoring ballot. All these ballots were in secret, so we didn't know who gave the scores, and if that makes any sense. But from there, everyone in the room discussed the finalists and any potential conflicts of interest, and there was a couple, and we decided not to have them on the committee, and settled on the top 4 plus the school board president. I believe this is a tremendous group of public servants, and I highly recommend that all of you reach out to them and share your ideas as well as your concerns. First, I would like to introduce Carrie Labella. Carrie is the Vigo County School Board President and is employed at the Vigo County Library, where she's the Collection Development Librarian. She's been there for 12 years, and you have 4 children in the school corporation, correct? Next is Jim Bramble. I think most of us know Jim. Jim is not only a CPA, but he's also been the Vigo County Auditor and the Vigo County Treasurer. Anything else you've done in the county? And he had 1 child through the school system. Next, we'd like to introduce Heather Pickens. She is the Vice Chancellor for Ivy Tech, Vice Chancellor for Finance with Ivy Tech Community College. And you have 2 children, right, that are not in schools yet, but they will be attending Vigo County schools. Next is Mark Matheny. Mark is a financial advisor with Edward Jones, and he owns his own, he's a small business owner here in Terre Haute, and he has 2 children in the school system. And the president that was elected president of the board is Mark Elliott. Mark is the vice president of finance and accounting at Thompson Thrift. And you have 2 children that are not yet in the school corporation, correct? Yeah, so we believe this is an outstanding group that is representing our community and doing some great work. And with that, I will turn it over to Mark Matheny, who has the update on what they've done so far. Thank you all.
sir. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the council. Mark Matheny. I'll do my best to keep it as close to 3 minutes as I can, but I'll steal one or two of Mark's minutes. On behalf of the Vigo County School Facilities Oversight Board, just want to thank you for allowing us time on the agenda and also for approving the creation of this oversight board. The purpose of our board is twofold: to evaluate which of the school corporation plans is in the best interest of the community, and to evaluate to what extent, if any, the county could responsibly assist, if any, in those plans. So let me be clear, our focus is on finding the absolute best solution for the taxpayer and for the students. At this point, all options are still on the table. We haven't ruled anything out. We've heard a lot from the community, and we just want everyone to know that we're taking all options, all viable options, very seriously as we evaluate those. And in case there's any concern around our board having any bias towards one option or another, I just wanted to share we've got a Terre Haute South grad, a Terre Haute North grad, a West Terre Haute resident, a Martinsville High School grad, and a Mechaniqua High School up in Peru graduate. So just want to share that in case there was any concern around any bias. But again, our focus is squarely on finding the best option, best interest of the taxpayer, and best interest of our students. So tonight we want to share a little bit about the work that we've done so far since our announcement as a board officially on December 15th of 2025, and the work that we intend to do going forward, and what we need from you all in that work. So in terms of what we've done so far, we started initially by analyzing the analysis that was done, kind of the whole demographic analysis by architecture design firm Gibraltar. That analysis included a detailed assessment of the physical condition of all 25 Vigo County School Corporation buildings, good and bad. I could go in, we've sat through hours and hours of meetings. It's gonna be really hard for me to keep all this very, very brief. There's a lot of details I want to share, but I'm just gonna hit very, very high level, just out of respect for the time. We explored in detail the 6 potential school corporation facilities plans laid out by the school corporation. We've spent significant time understanding pros and cons of those, as well as other creative alternatives that have been brought forth as options, and we will continue to do so. We utilize municipal finance advisory firm Stifel. They provided a very in-depth understanding of how school corporations are funded and financed, and Commissioner Klinkenbeard provided the updates around our background. We're not school corporation finance experts, but we gained a lot of understanding through Stifel's presentation. We heard from Dr. Himsel as he presented the cost savings of each option, and we're looking forward to diving into that more. If any of you have any questions on what the costs look like, we're going to be diving into that more here on Thursday at our 10:30 meeting this Thursday in this room. I'd encourage all of you to be here if you're able. We've engaged with outside professionals to help us navigate all of this. Obviously, the $100,000 that was allocated for this board for financial and legal guidance. Specifically, we've engaged with Tim Berry of Crow and attorney Jacob German of Barnes and Thornburg. Due diligence was done on others, but potential conflicts of interest led us to settling, not settling, we've got 2 fantastic ones, but we've led us to our decision to engage with those 2. Tim is the managing director of Crow. He specializes in providing financial expertise to government organizations He's also served as the treasurer of the state of Indiana from February of '99 to January of '07. And he will help us understand county finances and the projected impact of SEA 1. Jacob German is a partner of Barnes & Thornburg and specializes in navigating clients through government relations and municipal law. So combined, those two have already been instrumental in helping us understand what we don't know. And just yesterday, we toured the West Vigo and Terre Haute South high schools. As a Terre Haute South grad, it's been a while since I'd been in there. We had a chance to visit with a lot of the staff and just tour the facilities, good and bad, and so many wonderful people that we were able to engage with yesterday. Work that we will be doing next. As I mentioned, on Thursday at 10:30 in this room, we're going to hear from Dr. John Newport of the Vigo School Corporation, as well as Gibraltar. They're going to be sharing the estimated hard and soft costs of at least what this Group 1 project of a potential new high school, what that costs. And I think a lot of us have been waiting for those numbers and anticipating those numbers. They've taken a lot of time to make sure that they are confident in those numbers. So again, would encourage you all to be here if you're able. We also intend to continue to work with Tim Berry to evaluate county finances and project out revenue, expenses, resulting cash balances over the next 5 to 10 years, including the impact. Again, I can't underscore the impact of SEA 1. It's very, very important that we understand how that's going to the best of our understanding, how that's going to impact things going forward. And then again, we'll begin forming our recommendation, which we'll share with you, which again, I cannot overstate the importance that we have not ruled out any potential options. Everything is on the table. We want to explore and look under every rock to make sure that we're doing our due diligence. And we just want you to know, on behalf of our oversight board, that we're not going to bring anything to you as a recommendation or as a suggestion that we do not believe is fiscally responsible, and anything that we would not put our name behind. So let me conclude with this. We just want each of you, let me back up. So our due diligence is uncovering already initially significant pros and cons of these different options, and the impact of which are going to be felt for decades to come. And that's not a recommendation, or that's not giving you any insight into what we're thinking, because we don't have any real opinion formed at this point. It's too early to speak on those findings at this point, but we do believe they'll be significant for decades to come. Once we conclude our analysis, we absolutely will be anticipating, excited to share those with the council. So let me conclude with this. We want each of you, our county council members, to come on this journey with us. We're an independent oversight board, but we want your input, and that's my ask. Is it engage with us, collaborate with us, come on this journey with us, help us to see all sides, help us to see what we don't know, and help us to see all sides. We want to know your opinions, all right? And help us to engage with us as we reach out in the coming months to each of you. We would just ask that you take our call and work with us and collaborate with us. I want to thank each of you for your time, and we're happy to, myself and the rest of the board, we're happy to answer any questions that you may have for us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I am extremely impressed and appreciative of all the work that you guys have done so far. I think we chose a good meld of people that are going to do the best for everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion on the board? Council? Thank you for your presentation. Also,
Thank you.
I want to thank Mark Elliott, who I did not necessarily know by name. I've seen his face, but when he walked in, I knew whose son he was. He came to the shop this week and took the time to explain some stuff to me, and that was greatly appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Likewise. Thank you, Commissioner Klinkenbeard, for your assistance as well.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. One other thing that I think we have in reference to officials, we have the treasurer request.
Yeah, as you know, Josie Thompson is our Vigo County. Brad. Thank you. Almost got a button. Vigo County Treasurer, and she does an amazing job with investing county finances. And all this is a request to continue that process. Again, even today, she made a investment to help put our money into a better interest rate type of fund to help the county, and I signed off on that. She is that good. I've never seen anything like it. So I would ask for the council to look at this.
Okay. Discussion?
Motion to approve.
Yes.
I thought you were looking at me, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
All right. This is something the council does and is required by law to give her the authority to invest the funds on our behalf. So,
Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, we have an ordinance that needs to be read in. Is that correct? And do you want to?
This is ordinance 2026-1.
Okay.
Ordinance of the County Council of Vigo County, Indiana, authorizing and approving the investment of public funds by the Vigo County Treasurer.
Okay. Comments or discussion by anyone? Any concerns by anyone on the council? As a reminder, this would take at least 5 members to vote yes to approve, because we're doing it on the same day.
motion to approve the ordinance.
Okay, motion by Councilman Gentry,
Second.
seconded by Councilwoman Wilson.
Roll call.
All right, roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsup,
Aye.
Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
Aye.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. All right. Just to recap, any other elected officials? We're good to move on? Okay. Moving on to public comment. Any public comment? Mr. Ellis.
I hadn't intended on making a public comment, but since the school board, or the school, what's it called? Oversight Committee made a report, I would ask on behalf of the taxpayers that this body, each time they come, including tonight, ask how much of the $100,000 that was appropriated has been contracted for and to whom, and how much has been spent of what's been contracted for and what the current balance is each time they come, so we can see how the money's being spent, who it's being spent with, and what the balance is. So I would ask that we gather that information where we are now. They said they hired Tim Berry, our former treasurer, I think they said that, and some other firm, a couple of firms. I'd like to know how much that cost, what contracts were entered into, and who they were entered into by whom, and how much has been paid and what the current balance is that's left.
Thank you, sir. Would that be numbers that you guys would be prepared to present, or is that something you need some time to gather?
Yeah,
Haven't spent any of it
we haven't
yet?
spent any of it yet, and we haven't formally entered any contracts, or letters of agreement.
All right, for those that are at home. Yeah, you could either come up and speak in the microphone, or I can repeat it for you. Okay. So what has been presented by the committee is that they have not spent any funds as of the $100,000 as of yet, and they have not entered into any contracts as of yet. Did I get that correct? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Any other public comment? All right. Moving on to reports from committees. Annual Budget Committee update, February 10th, 2026. Hearing report.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Budget Committee met this afternoon at 3 o'clock to discuss several items that the President had referred to the Budget Committee. We made several motions to table salary ordinance 26-1, 26-5, 26-7, 26-8, and 26-9 have been tabled by the Budget Committee. At that point, due to those changes and other changes to the salary ordinances, the Budget Committee then reviewed the actual documents to determine if any changes that had not been previously voted on by the council or that were affected by the fact that we tabled those specific ordinances, that we changed the language and reflected that in the ordinances that this council will take a chance to vote on a little bit later at this meeting. Able to answer any questions you have, Mr. President, but I believe you've been updated on our actions today, sir. Thank you.
I have any questions or comments from council? Yes, sir.
Will these be brought up at a council meeting or another budget meeting?
So today, we'll still have to vote to table what they recommended tabling, and then it would go to Budget Committee, in theory, potentially July, and then it would then be brought back to us to vote.
Okay. So no second budget meeting prior to July?
Unless something would happen that would require it. The anticipation would be that there would not be another budget meeting prior to July. But again, we don't know who's going to come up to us and something comes up.
Budget members get a stipend now, correct?
They do.
How long was the meeting today? Half hour?
45 minutes.
How much is the stipend?
150, if I'm not mistaken. 150.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions or comments? All right, moving on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, let's see people know who the budget committee is.
Good point. All right, the question, for those of you who didn't hear, he asked to let everybody know who's on the budget committee. We have Councilwoman Wager, Councilman Gentry, and Councilwoman Alsup that are on the budget committee. All right, any other questions or comments from council? Moving on. Number 7, resolutions and ordinances other than appropriations, resolution of reallocation, existing appropriation 2026-1, Health Department transfer for Griffin Bike Park building cost. Any questions or comments on this? Oh, go ahead, come on up. Yeah.
Just in case you do.
Yes.
Joni Wise.
Okay, Councilwoman Wilson, thank you. Motion to approve.
I second.
Councilwoman Alsup, second. All right, once again, we are voting on Health Department transfer for Griffin Bike Park building cost. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye.
Thank you.
Passes 7-0. All right, we're going to move on to number 8, ordinances relating to appropriations. 2026-1, Parks Department Griffin Bike Park Building Bikes B2 program. Do we have anyone here for that?
No, Adams.
All right, any questions or comments by council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Councilman Gentry, seconded by Councilwoman Wilson. All right, once again, we are voting on 2026-1, Griffin Bike Park Building Bikes B2 program. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. 2026-2, Health Department Crossroads Care Clinic funding request. There's a familiar face. Any questions or comments from council?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Councilwoman Wilson, seconded by Councilman Gentry. Once again, we are voting on 2026-2, Crossroads Care Clinic funding request. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye, motion passes 7-0. Moving on, 2026-3, Health Department New Life Fellowship Compassion Ministries Food Pantry funding request. Same face.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Wilson to approve, seconded by Councilman Gentry. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please. And once again, this is on 2026-3, New Life Fellowship Compassion Ministries Food Pantry funding request. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
And Steve Ellis.
Aye, motion passes 7-0. All right, 2026-4, Health Department Thrive West Central funding request.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion to approve by Wilson, seconded by Gentry. Any comments or discussion? Okay, once again, we're voting on 2026-4 Health Department Thrive West Central funding request. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
I so appreciate you and all you do.
Thank you.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Just wanted to give it to her.
Y'all wait your turn now. Nancy Alsop.
I appreciate you too, Joni.
Thank you.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
And I think you look really nice tonight.
Well, thank you. I'll stand up a little straighter.
Steve Ellis.
Aye, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, moving on to 2026-1, 2026-5, 2026-7, 2026-8, 2026-9. The motion is to table these or move these to the Budget Committee. In theory, it would be discussed in July, and my understanding is we still need to vote on this. Is that correct? Yes, okay. So, roll call, please. Or no, I guess first we need a, sorry.
I think we at least need an opportunity to comment.
Absolutely, my apologies.
Thank you. Rob Roberts, Vigo County Prosecutor's Office. As I said last week, this is something that the Prosecutor's Office proposed during the last budget session. We've changed our funding request, but we have somebody that actually took a pay cut of $3,000 because of the grant funding that was lost. Your HR department has said this person should be paid at a grade 8. We are asking you to approve the money from our income, not from the county's income. So I don't understand why this needs to be put off until July, because it's not impacting the county's budget dollars in any way, shape, or form. And so I'm asking that it not be tabled, that it be voted on and be approved or disapproved. If you want to tell us that this person doesn't deserve to be compensated the way our HR department says they should be, that's fine. But tabling it for another year when it's already been reviewed once by the Budget Committee is not the appropriate way to handle this.
Okay, comments and discussion.
Legal
by-
question.
Yes, sir.
Counsel. These were referred under Rule 7 by the President to the Budget Committee. The Budget Committee met today and tabled these, and we have not made a recommendation to the full council. So we have not established a second date that we were going to review these. Is it appropriate that these would actually be in front of the entire council at this time? We did not make a recommendation to the entire council to table. We tabled them.
Go ahead, Councilman.
I just had a question. What is this coming out of?
This is coming out of infraction deferral dollars, which is an income line item for the prosecutor's office.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please do.
Tell me again why it was tabled?
The Budget Committee tabled it for further review. Each one of these items was reviewed. We're seeking additional information, and we tabled it for that review.
Were you aware of the additional information they're looking for?
I was here last week. I had and was available to answer all questions. I was contacted by additional members of this body the following evening and answered questions at that time. I was not made aware of any type of Budget Committee meeting to be present, nor that there were any additional questions at that point, but every single person on this committee has my cell phone number or can easily access that if they have additional questions.
Thank you, Rob.
All right,
So
discussion.
What are we, actually, we're voting to table these as a block?
Now, which one is
Well,
Not each
This
one
is number 9,
individually?
Vicki.
it? Which one is it?
Number 9.
Number 9.
So, what action was taken on this particular item, if any, at the Budget Committee meeting?
The action was a 3-0 vote to table for additional information.
on each and every one of these issues, correct?
That is correct.
So, all right, I'm gonna, this is 2026-9, is that correct?
Yes,
And this
thank
fund
you.
does not impact, am I correct, it does not impact the general at all?
At all, it's not even that one, no.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna make a recommendation that we are, maybe we should just do these. Should we do them one at a time or as a block on these others, minus that one? One at a time? All right.
I still have the same question to council. I'm waiting for an answer. Is this an appropriate scenario for us?
I'm reviewing with respect to the specific item here, 2026-9.
I'm actually talking about all the items, though. I mean, if we rule on one, we got to rule on others.
Right.
So if the budget committee, these were referred by the president to the budget committee, we've tabled it and not sent it back to the full council. So what I don't want, I don't care if we vote on it. I mean, I'm totally fine, but I'm just saying, are we doing this appropriate?
I don't see anything in here addressing specifically what happens in the scenario, so I think it's within the council's discretion to operate how they think appropriate.
Okay, so we're going to, now, and once again, to reiterate, as a council, our position, we're, with the exception of what we're talking about here, our position is going to be that any pay grade changes, any raises, any new positions, we are going to do our best to table those to the budget committee so that we're not doing this, because we're going to continue to upset other people that are not getting raises or that we're not hearing. So we're going to try to stick to that this year. All right. 2026-1, Community Corrections Pretrial Screener Salary Request. The Budget Committee's recommendation was to table this. So I assume I now need a motion to do that.
Motion to table.
All right, motion by Councilman Gentry.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Wager. All right, once again, this is to table. That's a separate one. 2026-1, Community Corrections Pretrial Screener Salary Request. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Nay.
David Thompson,
Nay.
Nancy Alsop,
Nay.
Brad Anderson,
Nay.
Randy Gentry,
Aye.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, moving, this motion passes
I thought it had to be
4-3.
5-2. This is not one that had to be 5-2?
No, this one does not need to be
Okay.
5-2.
Okay.
That's not his.
Moving on to,
Does not pay out, doesn't pay out, doesn't count.
all right, the question was, I think the question here for anybody that's curious was whether or not this was the one that was just in discussion. This is not that, not the same one. That is going to be 2026-9. 2026-5 is going to be basically the same thing. Community Corrections Pretrial Screener Salary Request. The Budget Committee's recommendation was to table, and I will need a motion for that.
Motion to table.
Okay, motion by Randy Gentry,
Which one are you doing?
seconded by Nancy,
Question.
Nancy Alsop.
Which one are you doing?
All right, we're going to clarify here.
We're out of order.
Okay, so this is 2026-5, letter F on your thing. This is the Community Corrections Pretrial Screener Salary Request. Any other discussion?
Just to clarify, these won't go back to budget till July, correct?
Short of something happening prior to that that would require us to do that. Any other further discussion on either side?
Why can the council not make the decision? It should have never went to budget to begin with.
Well, I suppose the council well, Rule 7 does allow it to go to budget, but the purpose of that
I
was,
didn't say it can't, I said
Right.
it shouldn't have.
well, yes, ma'am. I don't know that we need one. Okay, let me answer his question first, and then we'll look at that. All right, your question was why send it to, so the very first meeting, I mentioned that we were gonna do our best to not, last year, it was every meeting, people were coming in for changing of pay grades, pay raises, et cetera, when it should have been handled by the budget committee the whole year. At the beginning of this year, I said I would like to see all of it go to budget committee this year so that we are not making every department mad that they're not getting equal pay. We're not creating new problems the whole way through. I'm trying to make sure we are treating everyone equally. That's the goal. And my humble opinion is it should go, all of this should go to budget committee. That doesn't mean that you guys can't vote this down. If you want to vote it, it's, at the end of the day, there's 7 votes here, so you guys have the option now. I have had Councilwoman Wager just ask for a recess. Is that a motion that you are making?
I'm not sure half the council knew what they were voting on the first one.
That's what I'm thinking. I think we need to double check this, if
Yep.
there's one we need to do.
Are we gonna take a recess, or we just gonna
Yeah.
talk behind everybody's back?
Right. Do we have a motion for a recess?
Is Randy running the meeting, or are you?
Do we have, Vicky, do we have a motion for a recess?
A motion to recess.
All right, we have a motion for a recess. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there's a second by Councilwoman Alsup. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Sure.
David Thompson,
Nay.
Nancy Alsop, Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
Nay.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye, let's take a
She's got enough problems over there already.
Okay. All right, we're back in session. My apologies. All right, so to clarify what all of the discussion is, initially, the goal was to put as many requests for any types of raises, pay grade changes, et cetera, new positions, and put them to budget committee as opposed to hearing them every month. Mr. Roberts made a compelling argument, and so for sure that is going to be heard. The 2026 dash. All right, so now because we just voted on one of these. All right, and so now you're voting on the second that is an identical position. All right, so I want to clarify that.
2026-9?
Right,
No,
so-
2026-5.
2026-5. So I would like for all the council members to look at 2026-1, which is the exact same thing. This is 2 in a row, identical spots. We just voted on 2026-1.
Can I clarify something?
Yes, please.
Are you talking about amended salary ordinance 1, 2026-1? And are you talking about additional appropriation 2026-5?
So we're,
One amends the salary ordinance to increase the annual rate of compensation to what Robert's requesting. The additional appropriation in sequence after it funds the request.
so would I be correct? We need to go back and do something. If we were going to pass, we couldn't pass 2026-5 without passing 2026-1.
Yes, you would need to, you would need to pass them together.
All right.
Can I get a legal opinion?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask for a legal opinion?
Yes, please do.
Can I make a motion to revoke what we just voted on as far as tabling amended salary ordinance 2026-1?
Yeah, you can move to reopen the discussion on
Okay,
amended salary ordinance.
I move to reopen discussion on that so that we can,
Okay, there's a motion on the table from Councilwoman Wilson to reopen discussion on 2026-1, community
Amended
corrections
salary
pretrial
ordinance.
screener salary request.
on the amended salary
Amended
ordinance.
salary request.
Ordinance.
Second.
Okay, that is seconded by Councilwoman Wager. All right. Now we are open for discussion.
You got a roll call.
Okay, there's nothing to vote on, is there?
Well,
Is there a vote? No, there's not a vote. We're just opening for discussion.
Opening
Mr.
for
President,
discussion.
can I have the floor?
please, yes, sir.
Thank you. So, as president of the Budget Committee, I just want to explain exactly what we did, because I think there's a lot of confusion right now. The only thing that the Budget Committee reviewed was as to whether we were going to take 2 positions that are funded via a grant and match them up to 2 positions that are funded by the county. And the Budget Committee did not table this to July. We tabled it for more information. We were seeking input. Mr. Roberts wasn't here at that meeting. We wanted to take public testimony. We did not vote it down. We tabled it. In connection with that tabling, we also voted later to remove that via a tabling action, to remove it out of the salary ordinance. For those members that still have their sunshine packet, it's page 53. It's going to be somewhere close to that page in our current packet, I'm sure. That is exactly what happened. So the Budget Committee was not throwing this to July or any particular date. Matter of fact, we refused to do a date. We just said that we needed more information, and we did not have it, and that's why we voted. So that's just some clarification to that.
That is true.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion, questions, or comments?
I think everybody is here that can provide that information, correct?
Yep.
I don't know that everybody is here that can provide that information, but
Who are we
is there
wanting to-
anyone here to speak on behalf of that?
Who are we wanting to get information from?
I do not know that answer. I wasn't
who are you still
involved.
needing information from on this?
This is an appropriation of money. The Budget Committee wanted to see the fund that it was going to come out of, the balance of that fund, and we wanted to review the information as I presented, whether it was going to be 2 county employees, and we were bumping their pay up to the funding that is provided by grants by the state. And we just wanted additional information from the requestee. I believe in this particular case that this requestee is not the prosecutor's office. I believe it's Community Corrections. So I apologize, Mr. Roberts. We were waiting for information from Community Corrections to get more details. Again, we did not vote it down. We tabled it. That's why I was confused why we're doing it at this point.
And in Mr. Watson's defense, he had another request on the agenda that we knew for a fact was getting tabled and was not going to be, he withdrew his request, and it's coming back in March from a different fund. So he is not here this evening. That is not his fault.
Okay. If we can bring that back up in March, if we can table it till March, that'll be fine.
Okay. Any objections to tabling this until March?
I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
The March meeting?
The March meeting.
March meeting. That'd be fine.
Was Bill Watson aware that he needed additional information? Was he aware of the Budget Committee meeting this morning about this?
I think there was so much attention on the much larger $700,000 issue that this was probably far removed from his mind.
That's kind of unfair that he wasn't allowed to.
It's not that he wasn't
acknowledge.
allowed.
I mean, what wasn't clear to him what they were going to be discussing. Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we not table.
That we not table it?
Mhm.
Okay.
That we vote on it.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, your motion is to approve?
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Okay.
Approve it.
Councilwoman Wilson has a motion to approve
Amended salary ordinance 2026-1.
2026-1 Community Corrections Pretrial Screener Salary Request.
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, has been seconded by Councilwoman Wager.
Can I have discussion?
Yes, discussion.
Where's that money coming from?
Can the auditor's office tell us where that money would come from?
This is coming out of the general fund.
Okay, Councilman Gentry.
Just want to say that the purpose to table this is to determine as well, are we raising a person above the pay that they would get in a certain pay grade so that we're going to unlevel or prevent equalization across all 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. We needed more information, and that's why we tabled it. It's not always, and Councilman Anderson, as the Budget Committee Chair last year, clearly stated it would be really, really nice to know where's the money coming from, how much money is there to spend. Now we're being told it's coming out of general. That wasn't information that was brought up at the Budget Committee. So I just think clarification-wise, it was regardless of whether we go up or down on this, it was just an opportunity to make sure that we had the facts correct.
Sorry, and I think, thank you, sir. I think one of the things that we do need to know before anybody can legitimately vote on this is what impact this will have on any other employees. Are we, to his point, unleveling the playing field? Are we treating this set of employees who are county employees, although we are trying to match the state, are we then making it an unlevel playing field so that we have other county employees that are underpaid, and now we're going to have to go and adjust all of them?
I have another input there.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Bill Watson is extremely thorough, and it seems to me that he covered all this last week in Sunshine Meeting. So I don't understand what additional information you need from him.
So I don't think this is a question for Bill. I think this is a question for
I think
perhaps
it was-
the auditor's office.
I still think it was covered last week.
I don't
What-
believe it's going to affect anything over what's going on currently. I think everything, things are going to be in sync.
Okay, I guess the question is, do we know that we're not impacting any other positions? And if the answer to that is no, I think we would all be wise to take a minute and wait till next month and figure that out, because if we're creating a domino effect, that's probably something we should take into consideration. So we did that last year, and we had major issues all year long. It would make sense. Yes, ma'am.
Council President?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Rob Roberts, Chief Deputy Prosecutor, but also member of the Community Corrections Board.
Yes, sir.
I texted Mr. Watson and asked him if he would prefer to have a vote with the possibility of it being voted down and not being able to address this for another year, or if he would want the request to be tabled until the March meeting. He has indicated to me he would prefer to have it tabled to the March meeting so he would have the opportunity to speak and answer any questions.
Okay, then I
Okay.
withdraw my motion,
Okay, motion is withdrawn by Councilwoman Wilson.
and I will move to table.
Thank you.
And Councilwoman Wilson moves to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion from Councilwoman Wilson and a second from Councilwoman Wager to table 2026-1. Parks Department, oh, I'm sorry, no, sorry.
Amended salary.
No, my apologies. Community Corrections pretrial screener salary request.
It's, yeah, the amended salary, not additional appropriation.
We are 2026-1, to clarify. All right. Any further discussion, or are we good to move forward with the roll call? Roll call vote, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsup.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
She said aye.
Oh, Steve Ellis, sorry about that.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. All right, moving on to 2026-5, Community Corrections pretrial screener salary request. This is connected to that one. I would assume that Bill's request would be the same on this.
Move to table.
Okay, Councilwoman Wilson has made the motion, seconded by Nancy Alsup. Any discussions? All right, roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager.
Aye.
Steve Ellis.
Aye, motion passes 7-0. All right. G, Community Corrections Employee Benefits Funding Request has been withdrawn. I just want to confirm that the auditor's office agrees with that until they're going to re-request it next month.
That is correct.
Okay. Moving on to H, 2026-7, Family Court Project Funding Request. Again, the recommendation is to table this. And that one will be a longer table as we are trying to figure out how to fund community corrections. And there simply is not enough funds in the opioid to do all of the above.
I
That's
move to approve.
I'm sorry, Ms. Council President Ellis, you're
Yes.
tabling the Family Court project?
No, it was recommended by the Budget Committee that it be tabled.
But it's already been through the Budget Committee.
Yep. And I've moved to approve it.
I
Right.
second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Councilwoman Wilson, a second by Councilman Thompson.
Yeah.
Discuss-
I do have a presentation to give, and I'd like to be able to give that before the votes come in.
Sure.
What's that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're tabling because people need to go through the budget process, I understand that. But I've already been through the budget process. I've been through it twice now.
Right. I guess, to clarify, and you guys may want to help clarify this since you have the funds in front of you, I assume. Opioid between the restricted and unrestricted opioid funds, there is, if memory serves me right, it was a little over $1 million. There is a little over 300,000 coming out for 3 positions that the judges have asked for. I'm not sure which judges that goes to.
Is that for the mental health?
Would you like me to clarify?
Yes, please do.
So current balance, and I believe this is on the, this is the unrestricted, $870,966.32. That says cash balance as of 12/31 of '25.
Say that again, please.
$870,966.32.
That's a restricted account,
That is a
right?
restricted. We have if appropriated, the 2026 RISE Mental Health request of $377,783, and then Judge Reddy of $250,000 if appropriated. The remaining after appropriations, if approved, would be $243,183.32. And then in the unrestricted, we have a cash balance as of 12/31 of '25 of $218,712.42.
Can you say that number one more time, sir?
$218,712.42.
Is there any obligations already out of that money?
No, not on that one.
All right. So the issue, the issue that is presented is the way to keep community corrections open, and I'm not suggesting that that is everybody's prerogative here. There have been compelling arguments that it should be kept open. There's not enough funds in the account to do all of it. We have to be fiscally responsible somewhere. My recommendation was to table this until more money came in into the opioid funds.
Steve, if I may, real quick.
Yes.
Maybe talk to your legal counsel, or maybe Jewel or any of the judges. It is our belief that you cannot use opioid dollars to fund health insurance or the insurance benefits for community corrections. Therefore, it would have to come from a different fund.
Okay, so, and that may be correct, I'm not suggesting it's not, but we did reach out to State Board of Accounts and our attorney. Both indicated, and I'll let him regurgitate the law that he found that might back that up.
Sure. I mean, there's a whole host of authorized uses of restricted funds per the national settlement language and Exhibit E of the overall settlement that deal with support for people in treatment and recovery, people who need help, connections to care, and addressing the needs of criminal justice of all persons. And talking with SBOA, we kind of did a deep dive of what authorized uses other counties have used those funds for, specifically the restricted funds, and a lot of them have gone towards funding a position within community corrections, specifically, as well as in certain cases, staff-related benefits for those out of the restricted funds in the opioid settlement fund. So that's not a binding answer from the SBOA, obviously, which they refuse to give in pretty much every circumstance. But that's where the perspective is coming from in terms of how those funds can be used.
All right, so it is my understanding and my belief that we can use opioid funds until somebody shows otherwise for some reason, that we could use, and again, the goal here is to keep community corrections open. It is my understanding that we can use opioid funds to fund the benefits package for community corrections, and that does keep it open. There would be, after, this is just rough math, after the judge's request for the, how much is it, 300 and, no, not that one, the other.
377,783.
All right, after that request would be taken out of the funds, there would be approximately $710,000 left. The amount needed to keep community corrections open till the end of the year is $700,000, leaving $10,000 in that fund, approximately. There's just simply not enough money in there to do it all.
So with all due respect, I agree with you that community corrections needs to stay open. But I want to give my statement. because I think this is important, and I want the public to hear what I have to say about this. So I'm going to go ahead and take my opportunity to give my presentation, and you can decide to table it, or you can decide to vote on it, and you can decide to vote against it. But I want to give the presentation, because I spent some time putting it together.
Yes,
and it's
ma'am.
important to me. So when I came here to present last week at the Sunshine meeting, I knew I only had 2 votes, which is why I thought I would give a convincing, factual presentation and had individuals talk about their personal experiences. And to my knowledge, I probably still only have 2 votes to fund this project. I certainly thought about whether I should withdraw my request, but I think it's important for the public to see where does the county council stand on this. Last week, I gave you figures on how much we are spending on the new overcrowded jail, the astronomical cost of DCS cases in Vigo County, the anticipated cost of a new community corrections building, and the current substantial shortfall for employee benefits at community corrections. The Family Court Project is seeking funding that amounts to around 2% of what we spend just to house criminals in jail. It's difficult for me to understand how Vigo County could reject a proposal to send such a small percentage that is focused on the emotional health of children when there is evidence-based research indicating that this has a potential to reduce jail incarceration and juvenile delinquency. I'm certainly not aware of any other strategy that Vigo County has in place to reduce our incarceration rates and expenses. My only conclusion is that we have a difference of opinion, and perhaps we'll just have to respectfully disagree on how to allocate those funds. I understand that you have a difficult job, but I would argue that the decisions that you make are not just about finances. They are about the health of our community in Vigo County. And last week, I gave you strong statistics about the very poor health of Vigo County in terms of child poverty, food access, unemployment, social vulnerability, child care cost, and quality of life. And we have absolutely no strategy on how we're going to improve these things. I looked this week at the Indiana's mental health dashboard, which tracks mental health related events captured by emergency medical services and emergency departments, and those involve events other than self-harm. The stats for Vigo County for individuals under the age of 18 show that in 2017, we had 210 events. By 2020, we had 386 events. And in 2024, we had 792 events. So in 7 years, that number has tripled in Vigo County for kids 18 and under. It's staggering. And that's a very good indicator of what's ahead in terms of juvenile delinquency, jail incarceration, and increasing operational cost. My understanding is Vigo County has a reserve of $31 million. I understand that there's a lot of unknowns and you have to be fiscally responsible. I understand that. But it's really difficult for me to understand how the council can say, we don't have money to fund projects for families, but hold $31 million for a rainy day fund. It's hard for me to understand how can we spend $60 million on a new jail, consider spending $30 to $40 million on community corrections, but not have $250,000 for professional services focused on the emotional health of children. In fact, I'm going to be so bold to say that if we're going to spend millions and millions of dollars every single year, year after year after year, I would like to see this county council put $5 million in the community foundation so the Family Court Project is funded fully every year. That's a statement that you care about the children, families, and health of our community and the future of Vigo County. So I respectfully request that you approve the funds of the Family Court Project. It doesn't matter to me if it comes from the settlement funds or if it comes from the general funds. I think it should be paid by the county every year. Those settlement funds are not here forever. I believe I have the support of the commissioners, but I will let them speak for themselves. I also think, I've been through that budget committee process. The notes from the auditor show that the budget committee approved this. I understand you're in a tough situation, but at some point, we have to have a strategy. We just do.
Thank you. To your point, first I'd like to say I personally actually think your program sounds extremely intriguing. I sent you a message, personal message, after your last presentation. It was very impressive, enough that I wanted to hear more. The problem that we have right now is we do have a lack of funding. And the truth is, I don't know, I mean, perhaps Councilman Thompson, because he's a police officer, might have a little more inside knowledge than some of us. But for the most part, we don't know which of these programs are best for our community, whether it's community corrections or your program or the judge's request for the 3 positions. All we can do is realize that we've got this amount of money to work with, and we have to do the best that we can based on the presentations. If community corrections closes down, it is my understanding that we would have, I believe he told me, somewhere in the vicinity of 80 people of the 130 that would have to go back to the jail. That would create a major overcrowding issue for us. And of course, at that point, we have to figure out what we're going to do. Are we going to build a new pod, or what position that's going to put us in? I don't have a perfect answer. I'm happy to take more comments from the council if you guys have any suggestions.
Mr. President,
Councilman Gentry.
I want to go back and say that this was, again, tabled by the Budget Committee because we do have the pending community corrections issue that folks have been working on. We were waiting for more detailed information to come in. So again, we didn't vote it down. We voted to table it, and we did not set a date as to when we would do that, but we've got the community corrections coming back before us in March, and our goal was to find a way to use some of the opioid money towards the community corrections. So again, just want for point of clarification. I would also say, for point of order, I believe you have a motion and a second actually on the table.
All right, we do have a motion and a second. Councilman.
I got a question for one of the commissioners. Sorry, Mayor. Do we pay other county employees insurance?
Absolutely, yes.
Is it out of the opioid fund?
No.
Why was this one requested
Councilman
from the
Thompson,
opioid fund?
I'm not sure why this request came or has been presented to be used, or the opioid funds be used for this. This is a simple general fund request that we should take upon ourselves. Brad knows, Vicky knows, all of us that have been on the council for years, David, you know, this has been the $500,000 elephant in the room for the past 10 years. But Bill has taken it upon himself to fund it. This should not be something it's either community corrections or it's family court, because there are definitely other local income tax buckets out there that we could fund these employees and their benefits. That doesn't have to be from the general fund. And we all know, in some of those funds, we're raking in the cash with those. So I don't know why this conversation has to be it's either one or the other.
Let me just say that Bill didn't take this on himself. It got dumped on him, and that's fact.
Ms. Wager, you're right. Mr. Watson has been talking about this for years, and we're in agreement that he needs to come. This needs to be paid for. We pay for everybody else's health insurance.
Forever, that's
But
right.
I also need to be clear, President Ellis, community corrections does not have to close down because we can't pay $250,000 out of the opioid settlement. It can come out of the $31 million that we have right now in excess general fund. So it does not need to close because of that.
That's not the issue that's on the table right now either. It's Judge Reddy's motion right now.
Well, I think he's just
But
trying
I agree with you
Yeah.
totally, but.
If I may, Councilman Ellis.
You
So just-
want to pay it? Will you pay it for Bill?
It is great to see you tonight, Mrs. Weger. You just look wonderful as always, huh? So folks, I think kind of in front of us, we're having an apples and oranges conversation. We're looking at opioid restricted and unrestricted dollars for two separate programs, right? Family court and community corrections benefits and insurance, which I serve on the Community Corrections Board. Steve, I think, or Councilman Ellis, I apologize. I think you do have a valid point saying, well, if this is not paid, more people would go to jail because the center would face closure. Where I think there's a disagreement with many in this room and those on this council is the question about the bucket that funding would come from. You have numerous PS lit buckets, a general fund balance, and I know you had a budget committee meeting. My only concern is, why are we forcing a vote that will have not just city versus county, I'm not getting into that argument, but true community impacts? Why are we forcing that vote into just these two buckets? I also think that, and I know there's a lot of unknowns, but under the auditor's roles and responsibilities and what you can even do with, frankly, the oversight committee and their financial advisor or whomever you pick is project out your revenues and expenses for all of your county accounts for the next 5 years to look at the impacts of SCA 1 to make this conversation easier. You think this conversation is hard? Based off the logic that you just used, you're going to have a tough conversation about what type of fuel and fertilizer a highway department can use here in 5 months at a budget committee meeting. We're flying blind right now, and we're trying to force this plane to land on a tiny runway instead of looking at all the different accounts and opportunities. And I don't want us to rush to failure, because I know the calls that we're getting because of chronic absenteeism with kids not going to school, because of kids who have the divorced parents and the challenges there. So I don't want us to rush to failure and our police department to have to deal with it.
Thank you.
Mr.
Councilman
President.
Gentry. Yep.
Again, we tabled this. We did not vote it down. We have multiple pending financial obligations that we need to discuss. I love how everybody stands up here. It wasn't that long ago we had the public standing up saying we had 100 million. Now we got 32 million. Blows my mind that our budget that we passed last year was 4 million in the red, as it's been reported to us. And then 2026, we're talking about 1.1 million additional appropriations. We're talking about next month, 700,000 plus for community corrections. These are tough decisions. Nobody is saying this is a bad program. It's a program that's not needed. Every program we want. We have to be smart with the money. We cannot continue. All we're saying was table it. We've got to figure out the community corrections. It's not, no, we're not doing this. We didn't say no. So remember, we didn't ask for a vote on this. We've got a vote, we got a motion and a second to vote on it. The Budget Committee asked for it to be tabled until we could get some more information. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman.
I want to speak out on behalf of Judge Reddy's program for the children in this community. That is as important as any other program that we're doing. And to hear how those numbers have multiplied, and 80 kids who would die in our community, how can we even put numbers on it? It's not possible. $250,000, that doesn't even sound like very much money when we're talking about $1 million or $750,000. We've got to figure this out. We've got, and building a school, and 80 kids won't even be going through that school. We have got to figure out how to do this. She's on the right track. That's where we've got to put our resources. And we got to figure out how to keep kids from going down that path where they die. We got to figure it out. And it's not, we're not all stupid in this room. We can do it.
Mr. President.
We got to get our act together. We can really, really do this. So everybody with your good ideas, come to us and be part of it. Don't just dump it on us. I mean, my God, look at us. We're not as smart as we look. That's kind of scary, isn't it?
Speak for yourself.
All right, Councilwoman Wilson, you had a question or a comment?
I think we're muddying the waters here. We're asking for the $250,000 to come out of the opioid funds. I'm sure that, as was mentioned, there are other funds that we can. Oh, sorry. There we go. Is that better? Okay. We're asking, I think she's asking that the $250,000 come out of the opioid funds, which we do have enough. We're not dealing with the community corrections. We've already voted to table that. I think there are other buckets that can be addressed with at a later date. What we're dealing with right now are the opioid funds, $250,000 for Judge Reddy's family court project, which I've already made a motion to approve.
Okay. I'm going to make a comment, and then we're going to take a vote. Assuming, is there any other comments? Questions? Okay. So first, I'd like to say I don't think there's a council person up here that is against the program. And I've had that conversation with Judge Reddy in the past. The concern is this. I would love nothing more than to see this get passed. I think it is a good program. I don't have an issue seeing it get passed. The issue is we do, regardless as to what, no offense to anyone that stood up there and spoke, has said, we do have some challenging times ahead of us financially. The county assessor has told me that we are losing this year alone at least a few million in property taxes. Next year, approximately 5 million. I hope I'm not, you can feel free to correct me, in personal property taxes. We have a $7 million project that we moved forward with in December that we have found that those funds were already appropriated, and we did not have that understanding when we entered into a contract for that. There are a lot of funds that are already appropriated and already spoken for, and we are losing income as a county. The goal is to simply be as fiscally responsible as we can and to make wise decisions going forward. I did have the conversation with Mr. Watson that if we pass this through the opioid, it was nothing more than a Band-Aid for this year, and that we were going to have to figure out where and how we were going to fund it from a different fund next year. So to the point of the commissioners, we understand that there are other areas that funding can come from. We are trying to be as fiscally responsible as we can and use funds, in this particular instance, the opioid fund, to put a Band-Aid on this to get him through. Having said that, we have a motion on the table to approve the $250,000 out of the opioid fund from Brenda Wilson.
Correct.
And a second by Councilman Thompson. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsop,
Nay.
Brad Anderson, Randy Gentry,
Nay.
Vicky Wager,
Aye.
Steve Ellis,
Aye.
Good job, team.
All right, we are moving on. And that does create a problem for community corrections.
We'll get it.
I don't see how. I mean, it can come from a different bucket. All right, we'll discuss that, I guess, at a later date.
All right, moving on. 2026-8, I believe is where we are. Veterans Court Salary Adjustment Request.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. I understand the Budget Committee made the request to table this, but at this time I'm requesting that it not be tabled and it be voted on tonight. Just a reminder, this is a request for $3,800 in order to supplement salary for a case manager for Veterans Treatment Court program. This is not a great change. This is not a request for a raise. This is not a request for a new position. It's only to get him back to the same salary that he was paid at last year. The money is coming from the non-reverting fund, which is money that's collected by the Veterans Treatment Corps program, so it's not coming out of the general fund. It is money that we collected last year from fees that participants are involved with the program. So this money is not anything coming from the general fund. It's money that's already there, it's already been collected, and it's just a request to get him back to money, to the salary rate that he was paid last year, not any sort of change to a grade, raise, or any sort of new position. He was paid less this year just because of the cut from Indianapolis as far as grant funding. So that's why I'm making this request here today. I request that it be voted on tonight and hopefully approved. And I'm happy to take any questions as well.
All right,
Move
questions
to
or com-
approve. I move to approve.
I would like the floor first.
Okay, Councilman Gentry.
Judge, this came before the Budget Committee last year, right?
Not this specific request. It was a request out of the general fund.
But
This
you
is a
requested
request
for
out of
the-
the non-reverting
You
fund.
requested for, you did request this, though. You just asked for it out of the general instead of this non-reverting fund.
Correct.
From a fiscal standpoint, you understand that for us to continue to fund positions in this county using non-reverting funds, to use grant money, to use state funds, at some point, that is going to become a problem because we have that spread out all across the county. And so, again, this came before the Budget Committee. We asked to table it so that we could gather more information as to how long you could sustain this and whether this could be something to continue, because what's going to happen is if we vote and say, yeah, that's great, it's a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound. The bottom line is eventually all these different funds and all these different employees that we supplement their income, eventually that money may or may not be there. We know that our revenue streams are going to decrease. We've already seen it. Community corrections, we've got that problem. Where did that problem come from? A lot of people say it's solely based off of the money associated with benefits. Community Corrections Board determines where their funds go when it comes in from the state. The state cut $119,000 from them and is already telling them they're going to be reduced next year. The county cannot continue to make up all this. Small money, you can ask for the vote. I think we're going to have a motion and we'll probably vote for it. The only concern is whether we can sustain this and keep this going. So it's not, again, anti-Judge Johnson. It's not anti this employee. It's the fiscal matters that we are trying to determine how long can we sustain all of this. Thank you, sir.
Just a point on that, I understand completely your position, Councilman Gentry. I just want to note that all of the positions for drug court as well as Veterans Court are currently grant funded. This is the only gap we had in all of the funding for those positions. That's 2 case managers for drug court, 1 for Veterans Court, as well as the coordinator. So all that is grant funded. We just had minimal requests as far as from the budget. The current participants in the Veterans Treatment Corps program, there's 23 participants that are individuals that have served this country, and the individual here as well has as well. I think it's a very good program. I don't think my staff deserves a pay cut due to that, and we have the money available in the non-reverting. I understand next year it may be an issue, but that's a bridge to next year to get through this year.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments?
I second the motion.
Okay, we're going to go back to, motion was made by Brenda Wilson, seconded by David Thompson. This is on,
Additional appropriations 2026-8 Veterans Court.
2026, thank you, 2026-8 Veterans Court Salary Adjustment Request. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
I want an opportunity to explain, Judge, I'm not against you and I'm not against this person. I just think that we're making rash decisions without fiscal responsibility, so I'm going to vote no, sir.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye.
Thank you all.
All right, additional appropriation 2026-9, Prosecutor's Office, Victim Assistance, and Assistant Director Salary Adjustment Request. This is the one that Mr. Roberts came up, and there he is, and explained to us a minute ago. This one is coming out of his personal fund, not our fund.
Then write your personal check for it.
All right.
If I could just speak briefly,
Yes.
Mr. Gentry, I did note last week that one of the reasons that we changed the request to be out of the infraction deferral fund was because of an increase in income over the last 2 years in that line item. And because of that increase in income, we believe that it is sustainable for the request that we are making.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
totally agree with you. Long term, maybe not so much, and we have every department head
Sure.
that is diving into these funds, but these same department heads come to us asking for money for other programs. I understand each one of these programs can be also very specific and very earmarked to only certain things. Totally get it. Again, Budget Committee, all we said was we were able to look for more information. So nobody's against this, and nobody's against you, sir.
No, I don't take it that way. I know you try to be very fiscally responsible.
Thank you, sir.
Further questions or comments?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion by Councilwoman Wilson, seconded by Councilwoman Wager. Roll call, please. 2026-10. Nope.
9.
Nope. 2026-9, Prosecutor's Office, Victim Assistance, Assistant Director Salary Adjustment Request.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsop,
Aye.
Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
For the motion, for the reasons that I previously stated, no.
Vicky Wager, Steve Ellis,
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Motion passed 7-0. All right, 2026-10, Council for, no longer a County Council Financial Review Project.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to read the motion that I propose. This is, we have changed the language. Seemed to be several people that were highly offended by a audit that was forensic in nature. And what we're trying to accomplish here is exactly what the Budget Committee dealt with tonight, exactly what happened to us in December when we appropriated $7 million to find out we didn't have anywhere close to that amount of money. We can shuffle money from account to account all day long. I'm asking for a county council financial review, and it reads as such. $150,000 shall be appropriated initially from the Vigo County General Fund to the county council line item 30700, which is professional services legal, for the Vigo County Council to directly retain the services of special legal representation to manage and oversee a thorough financial review of Vigo County's financial fitness. The council president may serve or may designate a member of the county council to serve as a point person liaison to oversee any portion of the county financial review project. The council president shall identify and retain a law firm to perform or oversee the performance of the services requested to conduct the county financial review project. The council president or designee shall coordinate with the law firm to provide access to any and all records, materials, information, and documents required to perform and complete the county financial review project. The council president or designee shall provide monthly reports to the council at the council's regular public meeting as to the status of the county financial review project to provide public transparency of the process, and the council president or designee shall provide to the council at a regular public meeting the final findings of the county financial review project. Any and all funds associated with this transfer may be used for any legal expenses for any purpose or need incurred by the Vigo County Council with the approval of the majority of the county council. The county financial review project shall conclude with the presentation and report of the project's final findings to the council at a regular public meeting of the council. I move this motion forward, sir.
Okay, open for discussion. Councilwoman Wilson.
I find it interesting that when there are several avenues that we could perform such a detailed review for free, number one. Number two, there's State Board of Accounts who regularly audits the auditor's office and the books that we're talking about here. There are numerous other avenues that could be done for free rather than spending $150,000 when we don't even know what we're looking for, when we had people that balked about the $250,000 that we wanted to allot for the child family care program. I'm totally against this.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Thompson.
I think we heard all night about the uncertainty of all of our funds, and then we turn around and ask for $150,000 for a forensic audit, which again, I think is done by the State Board of Accounts every year. Mr. Klinkenbeard, can I ask you a question? Is there a financial review being done, and maybe this is for the Oversight Committee, by the Oversight Committee?
Well, that's a good question, and there will actually be one, yes, from the Oversight Committee. That's what they are going to be contracting with on Thursday, and they will have a financial review of that. We also have a almost quarterly financial review from Baker Tilly, which is what I sent you all, I think, on Sunday. And they are, I just talked to Jason Simler yesterday, and as soon as the session is done, they will be doing another financial review, which is what I gave you, with any tweaks that may have been done to Senate Bill 1. So we can already do what I believe you're asking for, Councilman Gentry, with not only the schools, the financial review they're going to have of our financial situation, as well as Baker Tilly, who already does it for us and has done it for numerous years. I was even looking through one, and we had a financial analysis from them from like 2017 to 2021. So I know they've been doing it for a long time.
When is the last Baker Tilly report, their financial report?
The one that I gave you all when I emailed that was one that Earl Elliott and I kind of went through and looked at numbers, but I believe we have one since then, probably in November. I don't have it with me right now. I'd be happy to get that to all of you.
I had one set up for Jason Simler to come in and present to all council members in October, and 6 of the 7 council members signed up for it. It ultimately ended up being canceled. I guess, who is this targeting? That's my next question.
I don't know that it's a who. It's a, we all sat up here and voted in December for a $7 million project. We subsequently found out that that $7 million was not readily available. We cannot be making mistakes of 100,000, let alone 7 million. We have to have a better understanding, and I just cannot fathom the money that's coming up in here and being requested. I cannot imagine that anyone that is in county government would not support us knowing where we stand and having a better idea of our finances. If we knew, if all these other audits were doing everything that you're saying, we wouldn't have misplaced or misspent $7 million at the end of the year last year. Again, I'm not suggesting that's anyone's fault. I'm saying we are the fiscal body. It is on us to understand what we are committing to. To do otherwise is irresponsible. We have to know what we are voting on. We have to know how much money we have to spend. Not only what's in the account today, what's appropriated and coming out of it tomorrow and the day after that and next year, what happened yesterday and last year. We have to have numbers that better explain our financial status.
I totally agree with that. We do. I just want to correct one thing. The amount of $7 million that keeps coming up that we say we don't have now for the towers. When I spoke in front of you, I was talking about PSAP. And right at the end of 2024, we had $5.83 million. We are projected to have $7 million in that by 2027. Now, I don't know what funds you ended up taking out of, but that was the one that, when I spoke, that I was saying we could take that out of. Now, again, we're also you're only going to spend 1.8 million of that this year, and then you'll have 2 other years to finish paying that. So that will hopefully it will allow this account to produce more money. Again, I'm with you on wanting to find out where, what we're going to do in the future, and that's the thing about these Baker-Tilly studies. They also project out into the future, and they're going to project after the tweaks that are being done in Senate Bill 1 right now. So, but, I guess you guys do what you want to do. I'm just saying there are other options that you all can look at with what we already have that are already been paid for, and what's going to be paid for through the school oversight board.
Thank you, Commissioner. Councilman Gentry?
Totally baffles me that we have people that don't want to know where the money's at, what the projections look like. I think a common word that I continue to look at is the available balance. I can get a report any day of the week from the auditor's office. The key factor is diving in and understanding that a council 5 years ago allocated a certain amount of money out of a fund. Commissioner, we can debate this tower thing. We had a meeting in the auditor's office, and supposedly 2 members of this council were given a heads up that the money wasn't truly there because it had already been appropriated for other items. My goal.
You'll have to enlighten me on that. Because,
Well, you know what? The auditor's office is right there by your office, and we had that meeting. Several council members were advised. I got to listen to the head of the state budget agency at AIC, and he even mentioned the idea that the State Board of Accounts audits are not everything. They're a point in time. They're a rear view mirror look. I don't want to spend this money, but at the same time, we keep making decisions over and over and over. And tonight, we're allocating money. We have no fiscal understanding as to the impact moving forward. All this is designed to do is give us an opportunity to make wise decisions now and into the future. You keep on throwing out names like Baker-Tilly. You throw out names of we got the State Board of Accounts. Got it. But I don't know why the fiscal body of this county would be so, and why the commissioners or anybody else would be so opposed to have somebody else take a peek at this, so that when we make decisions for, like Judge Lucky Reddy, we make decisions on commissioners getting new vehicles, or we make votes on group homes, that we have some type of a fiscal impact and understanding as to what the available account balances are. There's no, and Councilman Thompson down here wanted to know, what am I looking for and who am I going after? Last meeting, Mike Morris attacked me like I was calling people, criminals, and that this was a horrible thing. Never the intent. The intent's not to point anybody out. The intent is to give these members up here the ability to make wise decisions.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Gentry. Obviously, you have an axe to grind with me, and that's fine. You can continue to do that. You folks, it's up to you to vote. If you want to spend another $150,000 on this analysis, you're more than welcome to do that. Thank you.
All right, my anticipation is that it won't take 150. That is just there as a placeholder, and of course it would revert back to general, whatever's unspent. Do I have a motion? I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I just wondered what we got the figure of 150. Is that?
So we did look in and see I believe it can be done for substantially under 100, but we wanted to, just in case, cover our bases so we would not have to come back. I believe a decent amount of this will be going back to the general.
Where did you get the number from? Who gave you the numbers?
In looking into other entities that had done audits in the past, seeing what those were running, sometimes somewhere in the vicinity of around 80,000 or so. I heard well, I can tell you one, somebody sitting in the audience told me that theirs cost 30,000 for another entity that was, but I don't know exactly because we've not started down this path because we don't have the funds appropriated to do so.
As they mentioned, the oversight board for the school situation is taking that into account. They're going to be looking at all those numbers as well, and that's already $100,000 that's already been allotted to do. That's part of what they're doing.
Here's what I'll say, and that is, you can get 7 10-year-olds to sit up here and vote yes all night. If that's what is needed and what's wanted, we are not needed up here. If we are going to proceed and be fiscally responsible, we have a job to do. Now, you may believe you have the ability to do it with the information at your hand already. My guess is you wouldn't have voted yes for the $7 million in December, as I would not have.
But I
But
understood.
if you have the funds, then you should vote no on this. If you have the information, you should vote no on this.
I understood that it wasn't going to all be spent. All $7 million was not going to be spent right now, this year.
Sure.
So that's why I went ahead, and because that fund is constantly growing, the money will be there for it. So that's, I mean, I
Okay.
feel like I had made an informed decision at the time.
I think we all felt we made an informed decision. I think we were just perhaps somewhat ill-informed.
And I
Having
don't-
said that,
Okay.
do we have any other discussion or is there a motion on the table? Yes, sir.
I've got discussion. Was the comment made, or was it not, after the last meeting, that this audit needed to be done because of a committee or a board, and they didn't want to mention it because out of fear for their family? Was that comment made after the last meeting?
I do not know. What are you referring to?
After the last meeting, were you asked what this was pertaining to, because the auditor's office may already have this information, and you said it may be because of a committee or a board, and you didn't want to mention names out of fear for your family?
I don't recall that conversation. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen, but I don't recall saying anything of that nature. Again, that could have absolutely happened. Doesn't sound like it's something that I said, but I could have.
Fair enough.
I don't fear for my family.
Comment was made.
All right. Further discussion and/or do we have a motion?
Will you let Mr. Lee
Well, I was just-
respond to a couple of things?
I was just going to raise one thing on behalf of the
Yes,
commissioners.
sir.
I was just sitting here, I was planning on just sitting and listening to this meeting and going through like that one. I think one of the things that I've heard here is a concern regarding the fiscal standing of the county. What I will tell you is that no matter when you do an audit or a review of your finances, it is going to be essentially a snapshot unless you program it to look forward. It sounds like you have some contracts that are some forward-facing, but one thing that I might suggest to you is this. If you have consternation or some concerns regarding the State Board of Accounts audit, there's a procedure in the statutes that allows for you to opt out of the State Board of Accounts audit and then hire a individual approved firm such as a Forvis or an entity like that. It is something that I've walked Hamilton County through. It's what they've worked through, and it's helped them get into the programming to get their AAA bond rating and plan for the future. Because what they've done with that audit, which they were going to have to pay for regardless, so it's taxpayer dollars that you're going to have to deal with, is direct, and I believe in that situation, it was Baird that was working with them on that. The planning of the future, looking at every single fund. It's not a spot audit, as some people refer to the State Board of Accounts reviews. It is a review of all the funds. It helps you get your CAFR done. It helps you get your position for your bond rating done. And it does planning as to the revenues that are going to be coming in versus the expenditures that have been appropriated on an ongoing basis as opposed to in a snapshot basis. So that is an option I think that this council can consider. It's a statutory procedure that's set forth. I just want to raise that for your attention.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President.
Mr. Gentry.
Thank you. And this is exactly what we need. A State Board of Accounts audit is not always exactly what we can refer to get help. We're going to need help. Other counties are doing this. The idea that we wouldn't want to do this is mind-boggling because we need a lot of help moving forward as to where we're going to be financially in the near future. So thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for driving all the way over here too, sir.
Thank you. Councilman.
Are you talking about the GAP program or GAP people?
So they would have to understand the GAP process, but the individuals that are authorized to perform the annual audit under this program have to be authorized and overseen by State Board of Accounts. They have to meet the State Board of Accounts principles and guidance. They, though, have a much broader scope. You can engage with them to delve into however deep you want them to delve into. But that will serve as your State Board of Accounts audit in place of that.
That was my next question.
Yep.
Because we paid what, $400 and some thousand?
Now, you will have, there's a procedure that you have to go through, and a lot of it is dependent upon your previous State Board of Accounts audits and if there are any findings there as well. I haven't dug through those, so I don't know the answer to that.
The auditor has something to say.
Yes, sir.
So as I mentioned last time, when we came in, the county had not been audited for 2 years. We lost GAAP.
Say that again.
We lost GAAP. And there's a gap. I could be funny about this, I guess. So anyway, the previous auditor, Mr. Bramble, hired a different firm, Hartman Williams. Best move ever. That firm we are working with right now on the annual financial report, the AFR, which is due by March 1st. That will put us back. Hartman Williams is going to get us back with GAAP. We will be back in GAAP. And we will be ready to bond. We'll be in bonding status. That is happening as we speak.
That's all.
Councilwoman.
To Commissioner Klinkenbeard's point too, we do pay Baker Tilly to provide projections as well as snapshot images of where we are. And I really don't see, I mean, if we're talking about spending money that we don't need to spend, we don't need to spend $80,000 or $150,000 additional to what we're already paying Baker Tilly or, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the company that auditor just mentioned. Hartman Williams, okay. So.
All right. Any other further discussion? Do we have a motion or no motion?
I read the motion in, sir.
Okay, do we have a second? No second. All right, moving on. That was 2026-10, 2026-11, Vigo County Budget Adjustments Corrections General Fund. Now, my question here, before we move too far into this, to the auditor's office and/or recorder, have we voted on anything above that has been modified in this packet that we now need to re-add back in? Not through 11 and 12? Okay. 2026-11, 2026 Vigo County Budget adjustments / corrections, general fund. Do we have a motion and/or discussion? Councilwoman Wilson moves to approve. Do we have a second? No second. That one dies as well. 2026-12. That's 2026 Vigo County budget adjustments / corrections, various funds. Any questions, comments, or motions? Questions, comments, or motions? None. That one dies as well. Moving on. Approving the amended ordinance adopting the 2026 salary schedule and compensation policies for Vigo County, Indiana general employees, deputy coroner compensation changes, election board stipend changes.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
in regards to this, the Budget Committee took these line by line, sorta, and made changes to these. Now that the council has approved certain items previously, we need to sort that out before we actually take a vote. So I don't know if the auditor's office wants to assist with what we've now taken under. We've voted now, so we now changed certain, but we didn't change all of it. So it's gonna, am I correct, Brady?
What was the question?
So the Budget Committee earlier removed, tabled pieces of these last two items?
It's my understanding that committees recommend to the full council what to do.
Okay.
So you recommended to the full council to table portions of these and approve portions of these. I think, Steve, I provided a list of what was approved and tabled in the, so it's what you guys are recommending to the full council to now vote to do. In regards
So we need
these
to
ordinances.
describe to the full council at this point those
Yeah,
changes
what
that we.
changes you would
okay.
like or not like to make tonight.
So it's one of these.
All right, so to go, so the public can understand, the Budget Committee, again, we went through these and found various different items that we tabled primarily because we had tabled the appropriations. However, we also found various items, so the council can be aware. I'm showing this as 54, page 54, section 13, whereby there's a new line in this that says these stipends will be paid twice a year on the pay date that includes election day. So essentially, we, with one line added, we doubled the actual stipends for everybody on the election board. So the Budget Committee caught that and said that we needed more information as to whether we were truly doubling the clerk to $16,000 to run the election and the chief deputy to $12,800, or if they were staying at $8,000 and $6,400, with the idea that those would be paid twice a year, but each would be half the payment. So there'd be a spring payment and a fall payment. Things like that is what we actually discussed, Mr. President. And so we've got kind of a combined total now of things that we've asked for clarification and then things that we actually voted on. So
is there anyone here that can tell us which way the intended, there's no one here that can speak to that?
I believe we'll have time actually in our March meeting. We can clarify that. and vote on it then, because we won't be making payroll for the election before then, so I think we're good.
You want to table the whole thing?
Just that whole specific election part.
Okay, so are you making a motion?
Well, I'm asking Randy, he would know what the dates would be.
Council, when we're reviewing this multi-page ordinance, I'm not familiar enough to know what the proper procedure would be. The Budget Committee made those rulings to table various different, I would guess, lines throughout that ordinance. Now, the question is does each one of those things become a vote? Do we take it as a whole and introduce what the Budget Committee recommended? I assumed we were going to get a clean ordinance, but the council did not adopt our tables, so now we're kind of in a mix. So what is the best way to present this and get this forward, sir?
So if I can restate to make sure I understand, there are elements within this ordinance that potentially are being moved to table, but not all, right? So
Right.
you can do it one of two ways. You can identify as a cumulative motion those things you wish to table, and if you get a second and a majority vote, then you sweep those things off the table. Or you can individually go through the items that you would like to remove. It's either or. You don't have to do it one particular way.
Read what you're gonna table.
All right, my recommendation would be, if we don't have the answers, let's table as much as we can. If it's not going to impact us until after March anyway, there would be no reason not to gather more information. Ultimately, it's up to you guys to make a motion.
President Ellis?
Yes, sir.
A lot of these things are already being, like some of these checks are already being made to even public officials.
For the
Because-
election?
No, not election.
So I think
Am
we're
I-
on,
Am I speaking out of turn here?
we're on the deputy corner compensation changes, election
My
board
apologies.
stipend changes.
I will.
Point of order. What, Auditor, so earlier in this meeting, did the council vote to authorize the pay increases for the deputy coroner's office? Because we did not. Okay, we did not. Okay, all right. So Brady, can you come here a minute? I got to show you something so that I can make the proper motion. And I need you to confirm what we're doing here.
So David, how do you
President Ellis, if I may just have a quick question as far as just previous. So on ordinance relating to appropriations M, additional appropriations 2026-12, it's my understanding that included the appropriation for funds for the case manager positions through the opioid funds. And is it my understanding then that it was not, so there was a first, no second, so therefore the funds were denied?
I don't know that necessarily means denied. Can you tell me, since we did not get a motion or a second, is it denied and dead, or is it died for lack of a motion?
So the funding for those positions is not there, so we need to make sure that let all those individuals go tomorrow. Is that correct?
Oh, man.
I did not get a motion or a second.
Then I move to approve it.
Could we be heard on the issue?
Wait,
Because we should have been-
wait,
we should have
before,
discussed
wait,
it.
we're not, we have to cover what we're on right now, and then we'll
Okay,
come back.
Then we'll come, all right, thank you.
My apologies, because
Mm-hmm. Okay, make it. that we are currently talking about letter. This is, I assume this is letter N. The letter O is the judge's 3 positions. Okay?
All right. Hopefully this will make this as painless as we can make it. Council members, I make a motion to adopt letter N as it was presented in your packet, with the exception of 2 things. Section 10, letter C, deputy coroner's compensation, and section 13 as a whole. And it's the motion to adopt. Section 13 is the Vigo County Election Board, and due to the line after that was added, said these stipends will be paid twice a year, the pay date that includes election date. That technically would double the stipends to those members, and it should have probably read something to the effect as these stipends will be paid twice a year, once in the spring, once in the fall, or something that delineates that it's, for example, the clerk will get a $4,000 payment in the spring and $4,000 in the fall for those elections. Further clarification on that letter C under section 10, the budget committee did not deny that, we just tabled it. So both those items were tabled for further information, but the rest of it, based off the actions of the committee tonight, of the council tonight, should all be in there. And
Okay.
clarification, I make a motion to adopt letter N minus section 10C and section 13 complete until we can get to it in March. Thank you.
Motion made by Councilman Gentry. Seconded by Councilwoman Alsup. I'm not going to repeat that, so we'll refer to the record for that. If you would, roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson,
Aye.
David Thompson,
Aye.
Nancy Alsup,
Aye.
Brad Anderson,
Aye.
Randy Gentry,
Aye.
Vicky Wager, Steve Ellis.
Aye.
The 26, 11, 2026, 11.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do anything on that.
I made the-
Lacked a second.
Got it. 2026-10, 2026-11, 2026-12, all died due to no motion and no second.
I made the motion on 11, but no, there was no second.
But these are adjustments.
These are things approved by budget committee hearings and special meetings in '25. You guys promised, committed, whatever you want to use to fund them in '26 because it was approved after the budget was adopted in October. So these are things that are approved after the budget was adopted that you guys committed to, or the budget committee committed to, or recommended the full council to commit to fund in '26. So there's a list of them there. The Sunshine Packet had explanations and dates of approval.
And these were the elected official raises.
Raises for elected officials, plus the benefits.
We've already approved for the budget committee, and we brought it at the council meeting. We have to do something with this.
Mr.
I mentioned
President?
it several times. No one spoke up.
Mr.
Well,
President?
I was,
I don't.
that's what I was trying to read this on these adjustments.
I have a legal question. I don't know how to verbalize the proper nomenclature, but I want to reopen the discussion on letter L, additional appropriation 2026-11, Vigo County adjustment, budget adjustment for corrections general fund. I did make the motion, but there was not a second. I'd like to reopen that with a possibility of a second. Okay, I move to approve additional appropriation 2026-11, Vigo County's budget adjustment corrections general fund.
All right. Wait, let's go to your first motion first. Your first motion was to reopen. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Motion made by Councilwoman
Wilson.
Wilson, thank you, and seconded by Wager. All right, just, well, let's, yeah, roll call. Thank you.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the additional appropriation 2026-11 adjustment to the correction and the general fund.
Okay, motion by Councilwoman Wilson,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilwoman Alsop. All right. This is 2026-11, 2026 Vigo County Budget Adjustments / Corrections General Fund. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
No.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye, motion passes 6-1.
Mr. President, I'd like to move that we go back to number N, additional appropriation 2026-12. There was not a motion prior, but I would like to make a motion to approve it.
Okay, you're making a motion to reopen, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, motion by Councilwoman Wilson to open and seconded by Wager. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Is this M or
M.
N,
Aye.
or M is in Mary.
M.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
This is the motion to reopen or the motion?
Motion to reopen.
Motion to reopen, aye.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve additional appropriation 2026-12 Vigo County Budget Adjustment Corrections Various Funds.
Motion by Councilwoman Wilson. Seconded by Councilwoman Wager. Once again, this is a vote for 2026-12, 2026 Vigo County Budget Adjustment / Corrections Various Funds.
Right.
Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
No.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye. All right, we have already done N. We're moving on to O. Approving the amended ordinance adopting the 2026 salary schedule and compensation policies for the Vigo County Court staff, Section 3 additions.
Move to
Discussion,
Move to approve.
move to, what? Say it again?
To approve.
All right, motion to approve by Wilson, seconded by Wager. Any discussion or questions?
I'd like to have discussion.
All right, discussion, Councilman Anderson.
Councilwoman.
Councilman.
Sorry, I was trying to read all this.
Turning into my mother, I'm forgetting names.
Yeah. What page is that on?
40. I'm sorry. O is 35.
What page?
O is 35.
Thank you. We're in discussion. Okay, discussion from council. Any discussion from council?
No, I'm fine.
You're good? Any motions?
I already made the motion.
Motion
And
to-
Vicky,
to approve and seconded by, oh yeah, we're already on that. And second by Vicky. All right, this is to approve the 2020, this is letter O, the 2026 salary schedule and compensations policy for Vigo County Court staff, Section 3 additions. Roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
Aye.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye, motion passes 7-0.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Approving the amended ordinance adopting the 2026 salary schedule and compensation policies for Vigo County prosecutors and public defenders.
Page 40, and I move to approve.
This, am I correct, did this go to, did you guys discuss this today? Yes? And what did the Budget Committee come up with?
The recommendation was the table.
This is a letter, P.
The proposed
Cover.
amendment is to add section 13 discussing full-time employees in PERF-covered positions determined ineligible for PERF per state statute shall receive a stipend equal to the defined employee contribution rate, 3% to be paid in each pay period. That's how section 13 reads. It was a recommendation from what I understand from the HR department, because I think something similar is on other salary ordinances for other departments, highway, et cetera. So HR noticed that it wasn't there on this particular ordinance, and they recommended to amend it. But the Budget Committee does recommend to table this to get more information.
Okay, so we have a recommendation to table for more information. You need a motion to do that, or a motion?
I already made the motion to approve the amendment because HR has already suggested that it be done
Okay,
too.
motion by Councilwoman Wilson to approve. Second by Councilwoman Wager. All right, once again, we are voting on approving amended ordinance adopting the 2026 salary schedule and compensation policies for Vigo County prosecutors and public defenders, added section 13. We're going to open this for discussion. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Brenda Wilson.
Aye.
David Thompson.
Aye.
Nancy Alsop.
Aye.
Brad Anderson.
Aye.
Randy Gentry.
No.
Vicky Wager. Steve Ellis.
Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Number 9, honorary resolutions. Number 10, resolutions related to fiscal policies of the council. Number 11, appointments.
President Ellis.
Yes, sir.
I do have one clarification. I did talk to Leanna Moore on the election, where I had these stipends will be paid twice a year. That is wrong. So we were correct to
Table it.
table that.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
And we will have to redo that.
Redo it in next month.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you to the Budget Committee for catching that, and thank you to the Auditor's Office for a lot of extra work this week. Appreciate your assistance. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Oh, what am I looking at? Yeah, public comment was up at number 5. It goes before now. Did you want to comment?
Kevin Gardner, County Assessor. I just wanted to state that, and this is no reflection to anything that was voted or not voted on tonight. Steve, you referred to the fact that the county is looking at shortfalls in revenue from property taxes. That's absolutely correct, based on Senate Bill 1. And it's because of a lot of things that have changed with homesteads, homestead supplementals, senior credits, supplemental credits. The list goes on. The only reason I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention is there's also been corrections to that through Senate Bill 1 allowing for increases in local income tax. So people need to understand, yes, the state is saying we're going to give you a benefit and reduce your property taxes, but we're also going to possibly allow local government to increase your local income tax. So one revenue stream can offset the other revenue stream. So I guess the main thing I wanted to get up here for, and I can't believe Baker Tilly hasn't done this, because I do know they give financial projections. Absolutely a projection can be made on what the revenue expectations can be forecasted for based on the information that the auditor's office has and the information that the assessor's office has and the known of what's in the bill. We know what the the limits are, we could project it. Now granted, both our offices are busy. This is one of the busiest times of the year for both offices. So I just can't imagine you can't get projections like that from Baker Tilly. I mean, they're already giving you projections, and they should be within 90% accurate if they put the information in there correct. I could probably get with the auditor's office and I could give you those projections. But I do have a job and I have so much other stuff to do right now. So I just want to put that out there. There's no reason you can't get projections of your revenue stream over the next, I would say, at least 4 years, because that's where the biggest changes are.
Thank you very, very
Thank you.
much for your input.
The last time we spoke with Baker Tilly some time ago, they said they couldn't until Senate Bill 1 was figured out, the changes that the state was going to do. And
Bill 1 was figured out back in June of last year.
but they've not given us a report since then. This was last year. This was last year on the projections. Are they?
Just want to add. Yes. So in my discussions with them, as soon as all these tweaks are made, they are going to come out with those projections, and they are going to help us with that in March. They will start on that.
And that is correct. They are tweaking the daylight side of stuff right now, so that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? So moved by Councilwoman Wager. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Thompson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved.